the game in Force to Heaven, upcoming release by VUCA Simulations. The game is on the final stretch. We have now October 2025, and I hope we will get to a release point until before the end of this year. In this video, I want to show you how solo works in this game, because this game will have solo module, but it will not be a full solo set of rules that will govern units. Instead, it's going to be a solo guidelines that will guide one, let's call it a bot player, what to do in the turn. One player will play as a player, and the second player will be governed by guidelines that the bot will have to go along during the turn. So I'm not going to show you any rules explanations in this video. We're just gonna simply jump into gameplay, and you will see in practice how this works. So in short, in every turn, depending from the scenario and side, the bot will have a set of guidelines picked randomly. We roll a die and see what is the main focus of the turn or turns. In case of smaller scenarios, those will be much more detailed and tactical. In case of campaign scenarios, those will be telling you on which specific victory goals to focus. In every turn, also, there might be a situation where orders will change. For this, we will have additional table, and in addition to core game rules, which will not be altered in any way with this module, we are going to have only additional tactical stance for the bot player, which will determine if the bot will attack or try to attack, if conditions for the attack are better or worse in case of careful or aggressive stance. And there are some smaller guidelines how bots should use support and other stuff like air power, or how to do the Polish Navy if it is used in the scenario. And for air raids, especially Luftwaffe air raids, in every order there's going to be a focus, because Luftwaffe has a lot of different targets that can be picked. In case of solo bot, we are going to have main focus. For example, focus on units, focus on HQ, or focus equally on Warszawa and HQs. We are going to play small scenario, learning scenario number 4, the corridor. Learning scenario means that we are not using all of the rules. So we're not going to use any morale or a power or any cards. As a matter of fact, this scenario is focused mainly on basic game mechanics. So let's begin. We are starting our scenario in weather phase. In every smaller scenario, here's a scenario book, we're going to have a special sequence of play, because the main campaign sequence of play is pretty large. There are a lot of information that you won't have to look up in the rules if you remember how they work. But many of those rules, like for example in this scenario, air power or Polish morale or Polish political aspects or general stuff, are not used. Therefore, scenarios will have special sequence of play to ease gameplay, especially for the new players. So we start the scenario in the weather phase. Everything is set and prepared. So we roll die. We have a 5, which is sunny weather. Sunny weather have no effect on anything from 5 AM up to night. And then we jump into action phase. In case of September 1st, always the first cheat of September 1st is special cheat Fallweis. So it is a first German activation. and let's play with bot for two sides, just to see what happens, and I will be able to show you a bit more than if I was playing as it is intended, with one player as a player and the second player as a bot. For the first activation of the turn, we check the order, what it is going to be. And for the German side, we roll one die, 1d6, it is a 1. And 1 is Bydgoszcz. Attack with all units against Bydgoszcz. As for victory conditions for this scenario, we have a bunch of those. And the first is in the victory check. Yes, the German player accumulates victory points. There's 1 if Polish player declines Plan West activation, 2 for each destroyed unit under isolated marker, and there will be 1 victory point for Bydgoszcz, 1 victory point if at least 2 units of German 19th Motorized Corps are in Eastern Prussia, and 1 VP if a German pontoon bridge is placed in Świecie Ferry. And the German player needs to accumulate at least 5 victory points, otherwise it is a Polish victory. So we are attacking right here. Here is the place for the pontoon bridge. Here is Bydgoszcz, and additionally up to 2 victory points and 1 victory point per unoccupied defensive line by Polish unit at the end of September 1st turn. Here we have 3 defensive lines, Bydgoszcz, Koronowo and Rytel line. Those 3 defensive lines have to be physically occupied by Polish units. So in this focus for the German player, for the German side, we're going to use all of our power to attack against Bydgoszcz. Not try to cut this corridor, how would it be historically, but attack straight against south. It makes sense because if the German 4th Army breaks Bydgoszcz, it will be able to cut those units anyway and create situations where they will be isolated from Army HQ, which is right there. So let's begin. Oh, and we mark this with a marker which I forgot to prepare. Here is the marker for our order, which is on 1, and here is our tactical stance. We're going to produce those counters the same for the Polish player. Right there. It is written that those counters should be used. Maybe there will be special counters for this occasion, well, the art is mostly complete, but some small changes to counters might still occur before the game is released. Anyway, we also need to check our tactical stance, which is a 3, and a 3, if we check our solo rules, is aggressive stance, which we mark with our army stance marker. So let's flip this to combat, and we'll remember that stance is aggressive. So we are attacking against Bydgoszcz. Let's start moving. 20th Motorized Division, 20th, and as moves or attacks are not governed by the rules, the player who is playing the bot side will of course need to try to avoid any stupid moves, like for example moving away from its 19th Corps HQ and to have it and to give it for the Polish player to take. So 20th Motorized Division cannot move because here is a Motorized Corps HQ, but the second motorized can move. 1, 2, 3, 4, first entry to the Polish town. like this with control. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 3rd Panzer Division, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 32nd Infantry Division will move 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4 to enter Polish town. And we are going to check this breach. This unit has used its all DFR, so we mark it with DFR X. Let's roll a die for a breach. 5 means the breach is destroyed. We mark it with orange cube. So the first activation is now done. Advance time, advance cheat 4 spaces to the right. 7 AM activation, always random, and it is going to be Plan West. And now, as we are playing as a bot, as the Polish player, we are also going to first check the stance, which is aggressive, and then we roll for our orders, which is also a 1. In case of scenario 4, September 1st, secure defensive lines. Move all northern units towards Tuchola and Koronowo. Withdraw OW NAKWO. OW stands for Oddział Wydzielony. It's the Polish abbreviation for a Polish name. So let's do this. Tuchola is right here, Koronowo is right here. So we need to focus on those two defensive lines, and those northern units are mandated to move towards there. But we are playing Plan West. In case of Plan West, and here is the rule for this, the Polish bot will always select Plan West side of the cheat. If an order includes disregard Plan West, then as long as doing so will not result in certain defeat, do not select Plan West. So now we have to select our Plan West, and we have to fulfill it. And in case of Plan West for this scenario, as we are not using Plan West cards, we have special rule right here. The Plan West cards are not used. The Polish player is obligated to fulfill conditions. Border battle, at least 6 steps of Polish units have to be adjacent to any German divisions. If this condition is impossible to achieve, the German player gets 1 point. So let's count. Here we have 1 step. Here we have 2nd step, and that's it. We need to produce 4 more steps of Polish units adjacent to German units. So we will need to, I think we will need to move a bit in the direction of the border. So first let's move out 15th Infantry Division. Now we will have 5 steps. And by the way, this is a plan activation, which means we need to pick a stance. We're going to pick a movement stance for Army Pomorze. We mark 1 DFR for 1 moved hex. Right here, we could, if we move this 9th division towards this 20th division, which makes sense because we are in aggressive stance, we will have all 6 steps adjacent. 1, 2, 3, that's 2, that's 5, that's 6. So we have fulfilled our Plan West. This unit will man this defensive line, mark DFR 1. This will stay, as we are mandated to do. And those 4 units will try to move as fast as possible towards Koronowo and Tuchola. Pomorska, let's see if it is in command range. Pomorze has now 8, plus 3 from the airbase. That's 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Pomorska is in command range, so we can move with our full movement allowance. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's maximum. 27th. Let's move 1, 2, 3, 4, and those 2 units 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, and 3. and it has used up all of its daily movement. We move our Plan West cheat 4 to the right. Then we have Polish response, a special cheat for September 1st. If no Polish cheat was used on 7 AM, then it would be a Polish cheat. As there was a Plan West, there is no need to look for the Polish cheat. So we have a German response, German plan cheat, which means the plan 2 goes to the pool immediately. And now the German player will need to pick a stance. Stance will be again move, so we do not change anything right here. Why? Because our decision process is to move as quickly as possible to Bydgoszcz and seize it. Therefore, we need to get those units there. 20th Division, now we can attack because it is a normal plan activation. 20th Division will attack this 9th Division. We do not need to mark this in any way. Mobile units can always attack. 3rd Division will attack 15th, and the 2nd Division will help it do this. This 15th Division has only DFR of 3, so it moves and stops, and this division has DFR of 4, so we can still move 2 hexes. 1, 2, but not efficient to go right here, and this division from Sempulno will also go towards Bydgoszcz. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have X right here. Attacks. So first, right here we have 1 strength point. So we open CRT. So it's going to be 2 to 1. We have conflicting orders value of 2, which is -2. We have 1 unoccupied unit in ZOG, that's -1. And now, as we are aggressive, we just need only 1 artillery to get to BL, because as mentioned, in aggressive stance, attacks always attack with initial combat calculation indicated if initial calculation indicates BL. Never attack if there is AL or plus AL, and before 3 PM to achieve minimum result according to the stance, we use our support. So we are using only 1 artillery, divisional artillery point, 1 of 3, and we get to BL. According to aggressive stance, we are ready to attack. Let's roll. We've got 2 and 6, which is a 2, which means 20th Division gets 2 step losses. That's 1, and we need to take marker from here, and that's 2. We mark 2 daily reports, 2 daily report losses, and the Polish player will now have opportunity to try to withdraw, as this is BL, and we will try to do this. Let's roll 1 die. This is a 5. And on the withdraw table, in BL result, we got a 5. We have no defensive terrain, but we have movement stance, which helps us in this case. Defending army, move stance for withdrawal. So we withdraw without any step loss. And I think we will withdraw right here, because then we can consolidate with this unit. So we will go back right here, increase DFR, flip or exchange detachment 2 for detachment 1, as we consolidated with a regiment, and in this way we gain a step, which was lost because of this detachment. Now, as the defending hex is now empty, 20th Division have to move on, have to advance after combat, unless there is a hold advance check made. And to make this check, we make another roll, and we need to roll final result. No, we cannot do this because the roll was lower than 1, and we need to roll lower than modified combat result. So there is no tactical option to stay in the initial hex. So very unfortunate attack of the German unit, but now for the Polish player it might be much worse. We have 7 against 2, so that's 3-1. We have -2 for 2 conflicting orders. We have -1 for terrain. And we have 1 for unoccupied unit. Now, to make this attack happen, we would need to get at least to BL, and EX is a better result than BL. Therefore, we are going to use our 2 divisional artillery assets to get it to EX, and we attack. 5-2, it is a 5, it is defender retreat. 15th Division will retreat to Bydgoszcz without any adverse effect, and now one or both units of 19th Corps can attack. Okay, let's undo this, because I forgot about one modifier, and this is a consequence of trying to do things fast. Let's get back. We could not attack according even to our aggressive stance. Why? Because we could use only maximum of 2 divisional units, divisional artillery assets, and we don't have more. And we forgot about one more modifier, which is a special supply trade on mobile units. Their motorized corps HQ have a range of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those guys are out of the range, which means they have some supply shortage, which is also -1, which brings us to, again, we had this. If we use 2 artillery points, we would get +AL, which according even to aggressive stance, we cannot attack if +AL result is on the table. Therefore, we finish a German plan activation. Cheat goes 4 right. We advance time and go to the next. We have a Guderian. So our motorized corps commander is attending the front and activate 1 unit. This unit has to be in command range of Corps HQ. And we have 1 chance to attack right here. We might move 1 hex and attack. But let's see what conditions are for this attack, and I believe this attack will not happen, because we have 2-1, and we have now larger conflicting orders, because this is a 3, 1, 2, 3. We have -1 for disruption. We have +1 for size difference, but -1 for the terrain. So technically, this attack is possible, but it is not in the direction of Bydgoszcz. Therefore, justified decision would be to postpone this attack and simply do nothing in this activation. We do not advance time in case of commander activation. And now we get Heeresgruppe. We get Heeresgruppe Süd or Nord. Let's see what are special scenario rules for this cheat. If it's pulled the first time in the turn, the German player can choose which side to play. HG Süd is treated as no activation, and in case of HG Nord, we need to make a die roll to see if this army is activated or the other army of the same army group, which is not on the map in the game. Conditions for any attacks are very not comfortable at this moment, so let's burn this cheat as no activation. When the second Heeresgruppe cheat comes, we will be able to play it as Heeresgruppe Nord. And now we have a Polish response again. General Staff. We are still trying to man those defensive lines, and we need to man this defensive line as well. Therefore, we activate Pomorze Army, and with this activation we will move this unit towards Koronowo. It will be on its maximum DFR. This unit will move towards Tuchola, maximum DFR. Chojnica unit will withdraw towards this defensive line to have it secured. And as for Pomorska Cavalry Brigade, I think it is a good opportunity to try to attack this unit. As we are going to attack here and not attack here, let's first see what are conditions for this attack. We're going to have 1-to-1. Polish player has -1 of conflicting orders, but +1 for disruption of the defender. He could even add this unit to this attack. It is now on 3. Let's do this. So it's going to be 3-to-1 without any other effects. We are in aggressive stance. We don't need Polish artillery, so we will stay as it is. But we are going to set up our defensive artillery around Bydgoszcz, as we know, as we expect that Bydgoszcz might be under imminent attack. The rest of the units will stay. Oh, we are supposed to withdraw Nakło unit from Nakło. So it is what we are going to do at this point. 1, 2, and we have to stop. So for this attack we have 3-to-1. Let's roll our dice, and the result is a DDR for the German unit. It can retreat without any effect, 2 hexes, and Pomorska or 9th Division need to advance or try to hold it, and I think Pomorska will advance. That's it for Polish General Staff activation. We move 3 to the front, and we have 3 PM. We have a logistics check, and in this case there is no isolated units. So we proceed to the next cheat, and we have 19th Motorized Corps. Should we use it right now? I think it will be a good opportunity to use it in just a minute. There is a little P letter, which means we can postpone this activation and draw another one in this place. And it is a Polish plan. Now we have interesting situation, because first we need to pick a stance, and we're going to stay on movement stance. We are going to retreat with this Nakło unit to Bydgoszcz as mandated, and we are going to use this Pomorska Cavalry Brigade to move towards Koronowo. 1, 2 from the front, from this side, 2 and 3 and 4, and we might attack this unit. It would be 1-2, -1 for conflicting orders. We could potentially use this artillery, which would be BL at this point. The German player has defensive divisional artillery, which will be used, so it will bring us to AL. Therefore, this unit will not attack. We are done with Polish General Staff activation. 1, 2, 3, 4, plan activation. We are on 5 PM, and now I think we are going to use our 19th Corps activation. We are activating 3 units. And there's no chance that this unit will take this position, so let's just move this unit right here. We can move our motorized core HQ 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we will move towards Bydgoszcz with those two units. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are now in motorized core HQ. And let's see what chances do we have to attack Bydgoszcz. It is a major city and also protected by defensive line. For major city, we use the second special city combat results table, which has a lower variety of results from 1 to 6 only. Defenders are on 3 and we are on 7, which would be 2 to 1 for the initial result. We have -2 for defensive line. We don't have any modifiers for the city because it is simply blended into the CCRT. For the defensive line we have -2. There's probably going to be use of artillery, which will bring us still to PL, but we can use 2 divisional artillery ammo units. Let's use both. In case of divisional of any artillery, 1 artillery is lost for the defensive line, so it brings us only to this unit, to this result, and that's it. Polish player will use a shot, which will bring us to BL for the projected result, and we roll a die. We have 2 and 2, which means this attack, it was a 2-unit attack, which means it was a coordinated attack. Coordination has failed, which means we subtract for every additional unit beyond 1. We subtract 1 column and 1 DRM. We go back 1. Let's do it this way, and we lose 1 DRM, which brings us to AL result. In case of failed coordination, the strongest unit stays as the sole unit for the attack. So 3rd Panzer unit takes a step loss, which we mark in our report. And basically this attack has failed. We move time to 7 p.m. We don't move cheat because it does not create any conflicting orders. And we go to another cheat. It is no activation, 9 p.m. Heeresgruppe Nord. Very well. We might try to attack Bydgoszcz again. This unit can, this and those units can, this cannot move anymore. This unit will move right here. This unit will stay here to secure core HQ. And we will attack again Bydgoszcz. Well, try to attack. Let's see what we can get here. Let's set up our army artillery. We can use up to 2 shots. If we use those 2, 1 is taken by Polish defensive line. So now we have 5 to 3, which is 1.5. Not this CRT. This is 1.5. 1.5 to 1. We have evening modifier because we are already at the evening activations, and we have -2 for defensive line. And this will be all. We cannot get anything else. We get one column shift for the artillery, but it is still plus AL, which means this attack will not happen. We are not going to use our army artillery, which means we do nothing else on this turn. We can't do anything else according to our guidelines. And we get to last activation of the turn, which is a Polish coordination, which could be postponed, but we are going to use it, and we will only move Pomorska to Koronowo, as we were supposed to man those positions. And this activation will conclude September 1st. Let's go to sequence of play of the scenario book. First, Polish player checks daily losses report. We have no losses. Then the German, which is a 6, which is no losses, no replacements to get from losses. Then we check Polish March losses. We open the table for this. We roll 2 dice. We get 2 and 2. Poznań army is not on the map, so no March losses. We have no refugees on the map. And then armored divisions can detach spearheads. And we will do this in case of this division. Right here. Then cavalry brigades can move 1 hex, ignoring any Izoks. And I think Koronowo is now secured, so it will be a very very logic step to move this Pomorska to the rear, towards back of the Bydgoszcz. Infantry divisions. German player has no special order on the knight space, which means no division can move without a step loss. Those can move with step losses, and those are divisions with DFR of 3. So we can move this 15th division with a step loss. We cannot move any more units. Then the Polish player does the same. And I think I will move only this 27th division 1 hex towards south without any step loss. Then we have motorized corps HQ movement, which has been done during the turn, so we pass through this, and then we make cleanup. Let's remove all DFR markers. Army artillery go back to army command displays. We refresh all other assets. And we might move our HQs. Pomorze army 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It can move to Chełmsza, therefore it will move. German HQ cannot move to Schlochau 1, 2, 3, but it can move to Flatov. Technically it's relocation, not movement. And then we remove all activation sheets from the time track, place German plan 2, reset the time and move calendar to the next step. Remove German Fall Vice cheat from the game. So let's do all of this. We delete this. Let's go back with those cheats. Time goes to 5:00. Now let's look for plan 2. There it is. And those cheats go back to the pool. We move calendar to September 2nd. And in case of September 1st, we check if Polish defensive lines are broken, those are not. So German player will not get any victory points for those lines. Delete, delete, and delete. Ah, no, there's it is for Bydgoszcz. So we move to turn 2. Activation pool preparation. It is done. Let's see if the German player can do any preservation of cheats. In this scenario, no. No cheat can be preserved by the German player. But there's initiative, which means the German player picks the first cheat of the day for 5-0-0. And I think this cheat is going to be Heeresgruppe. As with this cheat, we will be able to set up artillery and renew attacks against Bydgoszcz with full force. This goes back to the pool. This goes to 5-0-0. Then we go with reinforcements. There are none for the second turn. Then we go with replacements. So the Polish player gets 1, which cannot be used, so we can record this for the future. German player gets 2 of them. So 1 will be used to remove this disrupted marker, and 1 will be used... no. We are not going to use it right here. We need 2 replacement points to replace 3rd Panzer Division. That's definitely more important at this point. Special reinforcements. We try to destroy Polish airbase. Let's see. Luftwaffe is not used at the beginning of action phase of the September 2nd. We roll a die. If we roll 4 or more, no, then we would destroy Polish airbase. Oh, sorry. There is a rule that Polish HQ cannot move in this scenario for simplicity. And then we check weather. So that's a 4, so it is again clear weather. And we go back to action phase of September 2nd. So it is again a first activation of the action phase. So we make 2 checks. We check if we make those checks. So the German player always makes order change check, and for every day we check our tactical stance. Let's first roll for a stance. That's 2. So stance changes to careful, and for order change we roll 3, which is evaluate, maintain the current order, which is a 1. Again, we are focusing on Bydgoszcz. So let's go. First, let's move this 3rd Panzer Division to this hex to block any Polish option to reinforce Bydgoszcz. Actually, we could make this move. First, let's count how many movement points will it cost. Because forest for mechanized movements cost 4. We enter new zone of control, we exit zone of control, but in case of a forest, we do not pay +1 for leaving Ezok when moving into the hex. So if we are moving into forest, we do not pay additional +1. So that was 5 movement points. We have 1 left, so we need to mark this unit with no recon marker, because we would need a 2 movement points left to be able to attack without adverse effect. We might do the same with the 2nd division, But if we don't do this and attack Bydgoszcz with those two divisions, though this no recon marker will have no effect. 3rd Infantry Division will move to this hex. 15th Division will take Nakło for 2 movement points. 1, 2, we check this bridge. 4, it is also destroyed. Cannot move any more at this point with this unit. Netze Brigade 1 and 2 and 3. 32nd Division. This division will not help in Bydgoszcz. There's plenty of units right there, but we will try to attack Koronowo. And in case of 20th Division, which is disrupted at the moment, it will secure 19th Corps HQ. So let's try to attack Bydgoszcz. We can attack only with 3rd Panzer Division and 2nd Motorized Division. It's going to be 7 to 3, so we are on 2 to 1. We have -2 for defensive line. We can set up our divisional army artillery and use 2 points of divisional artillery and 2 shots of army artillery, which will bring us to 1 column shift, because 1 is eaten by defensive line. Oh, sorry, no defensive line. No defensive line, as we enveloped Bydgoszcz from the north, and here we have no defensive line, which means there is no modifier of 2, and both shots of both artilleries have full effect. So we have +2 for 2 artillery points of divisional artillery and 2 column shifts for this massive army artillery. And we can get EX. We can't get any better result than EX, but I think it is still beneficial to use as much as we can. Okay, let's use 1 less divisional artillery, because we'll have almost the same effect with one risk of rolling a 1, but EX will be good. Let's roll. Ha! And it's a 1. It is a DR, so the Polish player have to retreat from Bydgoszcz or try to stay there with hold position table. Let's roll. That's 5. We don't actually need to check it, but we will. So in this case, we have 5 +2 for CCRT combat, so we're already more than 6. So no effect for this combat. We move cheat 3, advance time, no activation, we advance time to 9. We have 19th Corps. Okay, let's now skip to Polish activation, and we have Plan West, and now we roll for stance. So this would stay at aggressive stance, and we check if we... Oh, actually, on September 2nd, we have a second set of orders, so we need to establish a new order, which will be a 1, which is a broad defense. Withdraw and defense on Świecie-Bydgoszcz line, which is right here from Świecie to Bydgoszcz. So basically all Polish units are supposed to get right here and stay here as long as possible to secure Bydgoszcz and Świecie, to enable German side to place a pontoon bridge. So this would go on. That's a very interesting situation on the map, very unusual situation for this scenario, because in live playtest with players, basically this strategy is never used. And as we can see in orders table, 1 out of 6 chance is that this order would stay, and there's of course always option to change for new orders. So I see this way to play those scenarios really interesting and engaging. And for the larger scenarios, the most important part of this rule set is that you don't have to think what to do with both sides. So you still have to play those with full set of rules, but you don't need to think what are the victory goals to pursue. So I think we can end this. You have seen how this works, how the gameplay works, and how those solo guidelines could influence the game. So thank you for watching. If you prevail to this point of the video, and in some time I will record another playthrough of other scenario with the same solo guidelines. So goodbye to you all.